Marcus Webb wiped the grease from his hands and looked at the old mining laser he had just fixed. Another day, another broken piece of equipment at the salvage station. The station sat alone on the edge of human space, where few ships bothered to stop. Marcus liked it that way. No crowds, no noise, just him and his tools, and the endless stream of broken things that needed fixing. He had been working alone for 3 years now, since his partner left for a better job on Mars. The pay was not great, but Marcus enjoyed the challenge of making dead machines work again. Every day brought something different. Yesterday, it was a cargo hauler with a blown engine. Last week, it was a mining drone with corrupted navigation systems. He could fix almost anything if he had enough time and spare parts. The station's alarm system suddenly started screaming. Marcus dropped his wrench and ran to the main console. The sensors showed a ship coming in fast and out of control. It was not broadcasting any identification signals, and it was heading straight for the station's landing pad. Marcus grabbed his emergency kit and ran outside. The ship was unlike anything he had seen before. It was made of some kind of dark metal that seemed to shift and move in the light. Strange symbols covered its hull, and parts of it looked more grown than built. Smoke poured from several holes in its side as it crashed into the landing pad with sound like breaking glass. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then a section of the ship's hull suddenly opened like a flower blooming. Marcus stepped back as a figure emerged from the wreckage. It was tall, much taller than any human, with 4 arms and a body covered in what looked like living armor. The armor was dark green and black with patches that pulsed with a faint light. The alien took a few steps forward and then collapsed to its knees. Marcus could see that the armor was damaged in many places. Sparks flew from broken sections, and a strange blue fluid leaked from several cracks. The alien looked up at Marcus with large compound eyes that reflected the station's lights. "Help me," the alien said in broken human language. Her voice was strange, like several people speaking at once, but Marcus could understand her. "Please help me." Most humans would have called the authorities or run away. First contact with unknown alien species was supposed to go through proper channels. But Marcus saw only someone who was hurt and needed help. He had always been better with machines than with rules, anyway. "What happened to you?" Marcus asked as he knelt down beside the alien. Up close, he could see that the armor was not just clothing, but part of her body. Organic tubes connected different sections, and the damaged areas were bleeding that blue fluid. "My armor," the alien gasped. "It is dying. I am dying with it." Marcus looked at the complex biomechanical system that covered the alien's body. He had never seen technology like this before. It was part machine and part living tissue, connected in ways that seemed impossible. But Marcus had spent years learning to understand alien technology from the ships that came through his station. Every species built things differently, but the basic principles were usually the same. "I am Kira," the alien said. "I need your help to repair my armor system. My people said it cannot be fixed, but I have heard humans can make impossible things work." Marcus studied the damaged armor more carefully. The organic parts were trying to heal themselves, but the mechanical components were preventing proper regeneration. Meanwhile, the mechanical parts needed the organic systems to provide power and control. It was like 2 different types of technology fighting each other instead of working together. "I can try," Marcus said, "but I will need to understand how your technology works first." Kira nodded weakly. "I will teach you, but please hurry. The armor's life support is failing. I have perhaps 2 days before the damage becomes permanent." Marcus helped Kira into the station's workshop. As he began gathering his tools, he wondered what he was getting himself into. He was just a salvage station engineer who fixed broken mining equipment. Now, he was trying to save the life of an alien whose technology was beyond anything he had ever seen. But that had never stopped Marcus before. Every impossible repair job had taught him something new. Maybe this would just be another puzzle to solve, another broken thing that needed fixing. He picked up his scanner and got to work. Marcus spent the first 6 hours just trying to understand how Kira's armor worked. The alien lay on his work table while he carefully scanned each damaged section with his diagnostic tools. The readings made no sense at first. The armor seemed to be alive in some ways, but mechanical in others. It was like trying to repair a computer that was also a living creature. Your people call themselves a Thek? Marcus asked as he worked. Kira had been teaching him words in her language while he studied the armor systems. Yes, Kira replied. We have always grown our technology instead of building it. Our machines are born from our bodies, and they live as we live. But when they break, it is very hard to fix them. Marcus nodded as he traced a broken connection between two organic components. I can see why. Your technology follows biological patterns. It wants to heal itself, but it needs the right conditions to do that. He had worked on alien technology before, but never anything this complex. Most alien ships use standard mechanical parts that could be replaced or repaired with basic tools. Kira's armor was different. Every component was unique and grown specifically for her body. There were no spare parts to replace broken sections. How do your engineers usually fix damaged armor? Marcus asked. They do not, Kira said sadly. When armor is badly damaged, the warrior must get new armor grown. But that takes many months, and I do not have that time. Marcus looked at the power distribution system that ran through the armor like blood vessels. Half of the connections were severed, and the organic tissue was dying without proper energy flow. But he noticed something interesting. The armor was trying to adapt to the damage. It was growing new pathways around the broken areas. Your armor is smarter than you think, Marcus said. It is already trying to heal itself. The problem is that the mechanical parts are getting in the way. He picked up a small fusion cell from a spare parts bin. Human technology used these cells to power everything from tools to weapons. They were simple, reliable, and could connect to almost any system with the right adapters. What if we help the biological parts heal by giving them a different power source? Marcus suggested. These fusion cells could provide steady energy while the organic systems repair themselves. Kira looked worried. But human technology is so different from ours. How can they work together? Marcus smiled. That is what humans do best. We take things that should not work together and make them work anyway. Over the next day, Marcus began connecting human components to Thek systems. It should have been impossible. Human technology was mechanical and logical, while Thek technology was organic and adaptive. But Marcus had learned something important from years of working with salvaged alien parts. Every technology wanted to do the same basic things: store power, process information, and control other systems. He used human power cells to provide steady energy to the damaged sections of Kira's armor. Then he connected human processors to help coordinate the healing process. The organic parts of the armor seemed confused at first, but slowly began to accept the foreign components. This is amazing, Kira said as she watched Marcus work. Your approach is completely different from ours. Thek engineers follow the patterns that have worked for thousands of years, but you create new patterns. Human engineers have to, Marcus explained as he carefully grafted a human sensor array into the armor's nervous system. We learned our technology from dozens of different alien species. Nothing we build follows just one pattern. By the second day, the results were becoming clear. The hybrid repairs were not just fixing the damage, but actually improving the armor's performance. The human components were more efficient than the original Thek systems, and the organic parts were adapting to work better with their new mechanical partners. I have never seen armor perform like this, Kira said as she tested the repaired systems. The response time is faster, and the power efficiency is much better. Marcus made final adjustments to the power distribution network. Sometimes mixing different technologies creates something better than either one alone. As evening approached, Marcus realized that Kira had been telling him very little about herself. She spoke about Thek technology and culture, but avoided personal questions. She had mentioned fleeing from some kind of conflict, but would not explain what had happened or why she was traveling alone. Where were you going when your ship crashed? Marcus asked. Kira hesitated before answering. I was seeking allies. My people are in great danger, and I hope to find help. What kind of danger? Before Kira could answer, the station's long-range sensors began beeping with an urgent signal. Marcus checked the readings and felt his blood turn cold. A massive ship was approaching the system, and it was definitely not human. The massive ship that appeared on Marcus's sensors was 3 times larger than any vessel he had ever seen. It moved with the same organic grace as Kira's crash ship, but this one was clearly built for war. Weapon ports lined its hull and energy readings showed it carried enough firepower to destroy a small planet. Kira saw the readings on Marcus's screen, and her whole body went rigid with fear. "No," she whispered. "They found me." "Who found you?" Marcus asked, but before Kira could answer, the station's communication system exploded with noise. An alien voice speaking the Thek language filled the workshop with harsh clicking sounds. "He demands that I surrender myself immediately," Kira translated. "He says if I do not come aboard his ship within 1 hour, he will destroy this entire station." Marcus looked at the readings again. The warship had enough weapons to turn his salvage station into space dust in seconds. But something about the situation did not make sense. Why would a Thek warship be hunting you? "I thought you were just a refugee fleeing some kind of conflict." Kira closed her large compound eyes, and when she opened them again, Marcus saw something different there. Not fear, but sadness and the weight of enormous responsibility. "I have not been completely honest with you, Marcus. I am not just any Thek fleeing from war." The communication system crackled to life again. This time the alien voice spoke in broken human language. "Human station, you will surrender the false Queen Kira immediately. She is a criminal and a traitor to the Thek people. Refuse and your station will be destroyed." Marcus stared at Kira in shock. "Queen?" "Yes," Kira said quietly. "I am Queen Kira of the Thek Royal House. Or I was until my own military commanders betrayed me and tried to kill me." The pieces began falling into place in Marcus's mind. The advanced armor, the desperate flight, the fear when the warship appeared. Kira was not just any alien refugee. She was royalty on the run from her own people. "What happened?" Marcus asked. "My military council wanted to wage a war conquest against all neighboring species," Kira explained. "They believed the Thek should rule the galaxy and that all other races should serve us or be destroyed. When I refused to authorize their war plans, they declared me unfit to rule." The warship commander's voice came through the speakers again. "I am General Vex of the Thek Military Council. The traitor queen has 30 minutes to surrender herself, or I will begin bombardment of the human station." Marcus looked at his sensor readings. The warship had moved into attack position and was charging its weapons. He could see smaller ships launching from its bay, probably boarding craft ready to search the station if necessary. "I am sorry I brought this danger to you," Kira said. "I should leave and face General Vex alone. At least then you will be safe." "Wait," Marcus said. He was thinking fast, his engineer's mind already working on the problem. "Why did you come looking for humans in the first place?" "I had heard stories about your people," Kira replied. "How humans can solve impossible problems, and how you fight for your friends no matter the odds. I hope to convince your government to help me regain my throne and stop the war." Marcus looked at the warship on his screen, and then at Kira in her newly repaired hybrid armor. An idea was forming in his mind. It was completely crazy and would probably get them both killed, but it might be their only chance. "General Vex expects to find a helpless refugee in a defenseless human salvage station," Marcus said. "But that is not what he is going to find." "What do you mean?" Marcus began pulling equipment from his storage lockers. Mining lasers, cargo handling systems, shield generators, and dozens of other pieces of salvage technology. "I mean, we are going to give him a fight he never expected. Your armor is not just repaired now. It is upgraded with human technology. You can interface with both Thek and human systems in ways that should be impossible." Kira looked at the pile of equipment Marcus was assembling. "You want to fight a military warship with salvage equipment?" "I want to fight them with something they have never seen before," Marcus replied. "Humans do not win battles by having better weapons. We win by using our weapons in ways the enemy never expects." The communication system activated one final time. "Time is up," General Vex announced. "Prepare to be boarded." Marcus smiled grimly as he began connecting power cables to his improvised weapons. "Too late, General. We are already prepared." Marcus had exactly 10 minutes to turn his salvage station into a fighting machine before General Vex's boarding craft arrived. He worked faster than he ever had before. connecting mining lasers to the station's power grid and turning cargo containers into missile launchers. Every piece of equipment he had collected over 3 years suddenly became a weapon. "Can you interface with my computer systems?" Marcus asked Kira as he rerouted power cables through the station's corridors. Kira placed one of her 4 hands on the main console, and her hybrid armor began glowing with new patterns of light. "Yes," she said with surprise. "The human components in my armor are translating between our technologies. I can control both tech and human systems at the same time." "Good," Marcus said. "When they board the station, I want you to hack into their ship's computer. Find their weapon controls and life support systems." The first boarding craft attached to the station's docking port with a heavy clang. Marcus watched on his security cameras as Thek's soldiers in battle armor began cutting through the airlock door. They moved with military precision, clearly expecting to face no real resistance. "They are coming through Section 3, Kira reported. 6 soldiers in full combat gear. Marcus smiled as he activated his first trap. The corridor leading from Section 3 suddenly filled with superheated plasma from a mining laser he had hidden in the ceiling. The Thek soldiers' energy shields absorbed most of the damage, but the surprise attack forced them to take cover. "How is that possible?" came General Vex's voice over the communication system. "This is supposed to be a civilian salvage station." Marcus triggered his second trap as the soldiers advanced. Cargo containers rigged with explosive mining charges detonated in sequence, filling the corridor with smoke and debris. The Thek soldiers were trained for ship-to-ship combat, but not for fighting in a maze of improvised hazards designed by a creative human engineer. Meanwhile, Kira was working on a different level of the battle. Her hybrid armor allowed her consciousness to flow through both the station's computer systems and the quantum communication links connecting the boarding craft to the main warship. She moved through digital pathways like a ghost, invisible to Thek security programs that had never seen human-style hacking techniques. "I am inside their ship's computer," Kira reported. "Their systems are trying to lock me out, but the human components in my armor are adapting faster than their defenses can respond." The Thek soldiers had regrouped and were pushing deeper into the station. Marcus fell back to his workshop, activating more traps as he went. Automated repair drones became flying bombs. Gravity generators created crushing fields in the corridors. And even the station's water recycling system became a weapon when Marcus flooded entire sections with scalding steam. "This is impossible." General Vex's voice came through the speakers again. "How can humans fight like this?" "Because we are not fighting like humans," Marcus called back over the station's communication system. "We are fighting like Thek and humans, and every other species we have learned from all mixed together." Kira had penetrated deeper into the warship systems. She found the weapon control networks and began introducing subtle errors into their targeting programs. Then she accessed the life support systems and started randomly shutting down ventilation in different sections of the ship. The warship's crew began reporting system failures throughout their vessel. The boarding party reached Marcus's workshop just as he triggered his final trap. The station's main reactor, pushed beyond its normal limits, created a massive electromagnetic pulse that disabled every piece of electronic equipment in the boarding craft. The Thek soldiers found themselves trapped on a hostile station with no communication to their ship and no way to call for backup. But Marcus's real victory came when Kira accessed the warship's communication array. Using her royal codes that General Vex thought were destroyed, she broadcast a message across the entire Thek communication network. "People of the Thek," Kira's voice rang out across space. "I am Queen Kira, and I am alive. General Vex told you I was dead, but he lied. He and his council tried to murder me because I refused to wage war against innocent species. See now how he attacks a peaceful human station to cover his crimes." The message included security recordings from the royal palace, showing General Vex's coup attempt and evidence of the war crimes he had planned. Across Thek space, loyal forces who believed their queen was dead began rising up against the military council. General Vex's voice came through the speakers one last time, filled with rage and desperation. "You think you have won, but this changes nothing. Even if some fools believe your lies, I still have the strongest fleet in Thek space." Marcus checked his sensors and smiled. "Not anymore, you don't." 3 more Thek warships dropped out of hyperspace around Marcus's station, but these ships did not come to attack. They came to protect their queen. The broadcast that Kira had sent across the Thek communication network had reached loyal forces throughout the galaxy, and they were converging on a location as fast as their ships could travel. General Vex found himself surrounded by ships loyal to the queen he had tried to kill. His own crew began reporting that entire sections of his warship had stopped following his orders. Kira's message had not just reached other ships, but had also convinced many of his own soldiers that they were serving the wrong leader. "This is Captain Rex of the Royal Guard," came a new voice over the communication system. "General Vex, you are ordered to surrender immediately and prepare to face trial for treason against the crown." Marcus watched the tactical display as more ships continued arriving. Within 2 hours, General Vex's single warship was outnumbered 20-1. The general who had seemed so powerful just hours before was now trapped and helpless. "I suppose you want to surrender like a coward," General Vex said to Kira over the open channel. "I want you to face justice for what you have done," Kira replied. "You tried to start a war that would have killed billions of innocent beings. You betrayed your oath to protect the Thek people, not conquer the galaxy for them." General Vex's ship powered down its weapons and signaled surrender. Within minutes, boarding parties from the loyal fleet had taken control of his vessel. The coup that had driven Queen Kira into exile was finally over. But Kira did not immediately return to her throne. Instead, she spent the next several days working with Marcus to document everything they had learned about combining human and Thek technology. The repairs Marcus had made to her armor were just the beginning of what was possible when 2 very different approaches to engineering worked together. "Your people and mine could accomplish incredible things if we truly cooperated," Kira told Marcus as they worked on improving the hybrid systems. Thek biotechnology combined with human adaptability could solve problems that neither of us can handle alone. Marcus nodded as he watched Kira's armor interface seamlessly with both human computers and Thek organic networks. Most species try to make other races use their technology, but humans learned long ago that it works better when everyone contributes their best ideas. Representatives from both governments arrived within a week to negotiate formal treaties. But Marcus and Kira had already created something more important than any political agreement. They had proven that cooperation was possible and beneficial for both species. The salvage station became the first joint human-Thek research facility. Marcus found himself appointed as the first human ambassador engineer, a position created specifically for him. His job was to lead teams of human engineers working alongside Thek biotechnology specialists to develop hybrid technologies. Queen Kira established her new capital on a world near human space, rather than returning to the traditional Thek homeworld. She wanted to be close to the cooperation projects and to stay in contact with the human allies who had helped her regain her throne. "I learned something important from humans," Kira said during the ceremony where she officially reclaimed her crown. "The best leaders are not those who have the most power, but those who know how to bring out the best in others." The first joint exploration ship launched 6 months later. It used Thek biological systems for self-repair and adaptation, combined with human mechanical components for reliability and versatility. The hybrid vessel could survive in environments that would destroy either purely human or purely Thek ships. Marcus stood beside Kira on the bridge of the new ship as it prepared for its maiden voyage to unexplored regions of the galaxy. He still could not quite believe that his simple repair job had led to an alliance between 2 entire civilizations. "Do you ever miss the quiet life at your salvage station?" Kira asked. Marcus smiled as he watched the stars through the ship's organic viewing ports. "Sometimes. But I realize that fixing broken things is still what I do. I just work on bigger problems now." The ship jumped into hyperspace, carrying crews from both species toward new worlds where humans and Thek could continue learning from each other. Behind them, they left a galaxy where cooperation had proven stronger than conquest, and where an engineer's compassion had changed the course of history for 2 entire civilizations.